how does, okay, so how does this help serve or bolster, I guess, DeFi in general? Because I know DeFi is a really hot topic right now, and there's so much that you can do with it on top of, blockchain and in this industry, to create use cases and opportunities and solve problems and, to help lots of people out. So how does DeFi and Radix come together here?
So decentralized finance is, first I'd like to sort of define it a little bit.
Sure.
So I do separate decentralized finance from, let's call it centralized finance, like what JP Morgan does, what Goldman Sachs does, what the New York Stock Exchange does. And, or let's be more specific, the way that they do it, the means in which they achieve the goal. So let's say the goal is to create a money market where I can or a debt market where I can buy and sell the loans that other people have created against some form of collateral. So let's take the mortgage-backed security market or the mortgage market, where I can originate a mortgage and then take that mortgage and I can then resell it in the financial market to people who want to buy it. Now, in centralized finance, that process is a process of creating what I call discrete financial products. So there's a one-to-one relationship. I, as a financial institution, work out what the risk is for that individual borrower for that particular piece of collateral, and I create a particular contract between me and him for that mortgage. Whereas what DeFi does is something different. It uses the concept of a large degree. There is a pool of liquidity that is seeking a return, and that there is a market price for the risk that pool of liquidity is willing to accept in exchange for that liquidity being used for a purpose, let's say lending out against the value of a house.
Sure.
Which is a many-to-one operation rather than a one-to-one operation. And so decentralized finance is about reforming the basis for financial products, which you would recognize the end state of, but as essentially a liquidity protocol for allowing a bunch of people who do not know each other to essentially crowdsource the concept of risk pricing, right? And so that's fundamentally different from centralized finance, which is, the reason I'm saying this is a really important distinction is because a lot of people say decentralized finance is just finance without KYC AML, right? Or is just finance without a central intermediary. And that's actually not that's not what's actually making DeFi interesting. Like, without KYC AML is just removing a lot of friction and hurdles to people allocating capital to this market. I don't think that the market wouldn't be valuable with it. It just wouldn't work because there's not enough liquidity in the space, full stop. There isn't enough people to have all of these regulatory barriers in place for actually getting your capital in there in the first place. But the beauty of it is that capital allocation, official capital allocation and risk pricing. So how does Radix fit into this, and what is the path of DeFi? So we're still in the experimental phase of what decentralized finance is and what's possible with it. We've worked out some primitives like continuous function market makers or autonomous automatic market makers like Uniswap, right? But we've also got loads of problems like the gas fee problem is a continuous problem for Ethereum. The security problem is a continuous problem for Ethereum. Like, me building decentralized finance on top of Ethereum and knowing that what I put out is safe and isn't going to lose, like the people aren't going to lose money either because there's a bug in the code or there's a hack or it's hackable. Like that is completely and utterly the Wild West at the moment. Like really difficult for a developer. Like you would never, you try and take a like dyed in the wool crypto person and convince them to develop in DeFi, like your everyday developer who's, let's say he's a developer entrepreneur, completely understands the concept of risk reward, completely understands the concept of creating a new company with a new idea. And then you show him the risk profile of building in DeFi and he'll go, no bloody way. There's no way I'm getting into that. And part of it is just because building this stuff is really difficult to secure, really difficult to deploy. So that's a huge problem for the industry. And then the last part of this is like the tools are not really designed for building DeFi. Like the way that the way that you have tests, that you can set up testing, the way that you the interfaces. So like MetaMask is okay. I mean, MetaMask actually really sucks as a user experience, but for crypto, everyone's like, oh my God, this is amazing. No, it does. It does suck as a user experience. Absolutely. And I can point to lots of reasons why. Like, I don't understand as a user coming into MetaMask, I fundamentally don't understand what my private key is and why I have to secure it. I don't understand that I can use external wallets. I don't really understand why what I am signing. So if I go onto a DeFi application and I want to interact with it, what I see in MetaMask is completely and utterly impenetrable. Like it's saying, confirm this thing. I have no idea if what I'm confirming is anything to do with what the website has done. It's just that in crypto, we've got so used to being like, oh, sod it, like, let's just give it a go. Or, oh, like, we understand what's going on in the background, so I kind of feel safe just saying confirm to a bunch of zeros and ones.
Sure.
But for everyday users, no, that is absolutely unacceptable user experience. Absolutely unacceptable user.
But it's kind of like the whole terms and service thing with a website or an app, and you kind of, everyone just kind of ignores it and clicks accept, right? It's kind of the same principle.
Not really, because like what you're asking people, if you think about it from the point of view of an outsider, I'm putting real money into this. I'm putting $1,000 into this, and like for a DeFi degen, $1,000 is nothing, but for your everyday person, $1,000 is a lot of money. And I'm sending my money somewhere, and the thing that says confirm, and I'm going to do this once, right, in the next month or the next 3 months. I'm not doing it every day. I'm doing it once. The thing that says confirm, I fundamentally don't understand if my money's going to the right place. That's not a level of user experience that anyone outside of crypto is going to be comfortable going yes to, confirm. They're going to want to call someone up and go, hey man, am I doing this right? Is there customer support? No. Is there someone who can tell you if you're doing it right? No. You go onto a Telegram channel, you might get scammed. Hey, don't worry, I'll help you out. Just give me your seed phrase and I'll have a look at what you're doing wrong. Like, there are so many places where the average consumer can get tripped up. So no, like MetaMask is great because what else we have in the crypto space is so terrible by comparison. It is not a great user experience. Absolutely not. But it shows the path to what a great user experience might be. Right? It's a good first step towards going, here's how you create a good user experience.